Hello, Zoltan here from Adagio Hands, releasing stuck bodies. In this video, we're talking about stretching and why we might stretch. Now, I have some clients who tell me repeatedly that they know they should stretch, but they can't get around to it. They don't have the time. They're just not interested. Something else comes up. Other people, they stretch in a very disciplined manner all the time, and yet they feel they're not making progress towards whatever objective they have. In fact, some of those people might come and see me for that purpose. So I thought it'd be interesting just to look at the objectives of our stretching. Why would we stretch? What's the point? And broadly, I see this in three categories. So I'll go through the three categories of why we might stretch, and different stretches are involved in each. At the end, though, I will also mop up some more systemic reasons for why we might stretch. So the three categories, the first is pre-exercise. So this is before any exercise, before any performance, a light stretch, an MOT if you like. Why would we do that? Well, just to make sure that the joints are fully functioning, to prepare the nervous system for some activity so it knows that there's going to be some movement and it's not caught by surprise, it's not hanging on. And it's also to perhaps just pull out any slight adhesions that there may be between tissues. There's always a bit of stuckness between tissues, so just before a performance or exercise, just pulling things out. Pre-exercise, pre-performance, you really don't want to spend more than a few seconds on that stretch. So generally just see if it's okay. Okay, that's all good, every direction, and that's enough. If you spend too long on the stretch, then as in several minutes, you will actually reduce your power from that group of muscles. And of course, you don't want to do that before exercise, before a performance. Category 2, however, is after your exercise, after performance. And of course there, you can stretch for a lot longer if you're doing a static stretch. And particularly if you find after some exertion that there's some tightness in a muscle, you've pulled a muscle, then you can stretch for maybe 2 minutes to pull out that niggle, pull out, I put that in inverted commas, pull out that injury, that knot, that tension, that tightness, to avoid it being tight the following day. And 2 minutes is a good time to pull out not just that muscle, but that fascia. Importantly though, be kind to yourself, be gentle to that area. Don't yank it, because there will be a stretch response from the muscle then pulling back. So nice and gentle. So that's post-exercise. And then category 3 is where we're trying to make a long-term change to our body. Maybe we're wanting to increase our range of motion. Maybe we're wanting to release restriction somewhere in the body. So those two might be related, but that restriction might just mean that we don't quite feel in alignment. We don't quite feel we can transmit power through our body in the way we want to, or we can't hold our tools or instrument quite in the position we want to without pain, without discomfort, without feeling kind of stable and grounded. So that's where stretching can potentially help our body get into a greater sense of alignment, and through systematic stretching that will change the shape, the morphology of our connective tissue and of the body. And for those stretches, you want to stretch the area for 2 minutes minimum. And that will help expand and change the shape of the connective tissue. Now, you may find, as I said earlier, that there are some people who stretch all the time and yet they're not making progress there. And that may be because they're not managing to hit the spot that's tight, or it may be that they're not quite doing the kind of stretch that's needed in that situation. There's a range of stretching categories, and I'll talk about that in another video. So I hope that gives you the understanding that there are several reasons why you may stretch at different points in time, and also there are several types of stretching. And by the way, Stretching can also help with strength training if done appropriately. So there's different types of more active stretch for that again, another video we'll talk about. So it's not all, absolutely isn't about passively waiting for something to lengthen. Always having awareness both of your posture, of your alignment, and then of the area that you're stretching will give the stretch far more effectiveness. I said at the beginning that I'd mop up some more systemic issues with stretching, so allow me to do that here in the fourth category, if you like. And the latest research shows that stretching has wider systemic benefits. So I don't know if you're someone who you feel good when you stretch, or after you stretch, do you feel good? If you are, then the research bears this out, that stretching helps us relax, helps our mental health, helps us feel more present in our bodies. Really interesting piece of research also suggests that stretching can help reduce negative thought spirals. So they're the kind of things that go round and round in your mind, maybe grief or anger, incredulity. But how is it possible? Depression, and a period of stretching 15 minutes a day will help reduce those thought spirals. So very good for our mental health. And then it's also emerging from research that stretching is good for wider connective tissue and whole body well-being. So improves wound healing, improves the immune system, and reduces chronic inflammation. So inflammation is nowadays what's being blamed for a lot of systemic long-term diseases. And one of the theories is that simply by stretching, we're pulling apart tissues, allowing them to glide past each other, and that allows fluids, nutrition to pass through, for inflammatory chemicals, toxins to be flushed out of the system rather than being stuck there and causing a problem and continuously generating inflammation. So that's the fourth category of systemic benefits to stretching. So I hope you found that helpful in understanding that there are several reasons why we may stretch at different points in the day, and that these reasons may not just be improving our overall flexibility or range of motion, but there are wider reasons to do both with performance and with mental health. And it's worth thinking about what you get out of stretching, and if you're not stretching, what's stopping you? If you are stretching and you're not making as much progress as you'd like to, then look out for another video that talks in more detail about types of stretching. Hope you found that helpful. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing you in another video. Bye for now.